for checking out my video. Today I'm going to be showing you all how to do a flawless face for your wedding day. Or you could use it for when you get your family pictures done. Doesn't matter. This is totally interchangeable. These tips are going to be so helpful to you no matter what you're putting makeup on for. You could be just going to bank, I mean, shoot. So let's get to it. How to highlight and bronze your face and make it look super natural for your photos of any kind. Alright, so step number one for any flawless wedding face is going to be using color correction. Now, for me, I really don't have that much that needs color correcting, just a little bit of redness here, a little bit right here, and then my dark circles, they're really not that dark today, so I won't really have to do too much, but I will give you a little bit of help. So if you have redness that you need to color correct, you're going to want to use a green color correcting concealer. This one is Senegence. I prefer this one because what it does is it actually dries pretty matte, which allows, it means that, okay, think about most concealers that you use. Do they feel a little bit oily after they've set for a little bit? This one's not going to. It's actually going to dry. I would argue that it feels almost like a powder, but it doesn't. It's not a powder. It's actually like a regular concealer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to color correct any redness that I have. So right here, a little bit right here, especially. My nose gets really red, even under foundation sometimes, so I do like to put a little bit right here. So if you're like me, maybe put a little bit of green concealer here, okay? And I have like a little thing right here and a little thing right there and a little thing right there. And that's about it for red. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna blend that out using my foundation brush right here. And notice how that's almost like completely gone. Might have to go back over a couple of areas like I am right here. And ba-ba-boom. Okay, so then what we're gonna do is if you have super dark under eye circles, I'm gonna tell you right now, you're gonna wanna use either an orange or a red, or like a peach or a red, and that is going to color correct any purples. If you're like me and you really don't have dark under eye circles, a regular concealer is gonna do just fine. So what I like to use if my under eye circles are really exceptionally dark is terracotta, because I'm pretty fair. If you start leaning into the mediums and you're finding that your under eye circles are like real purple, you're gonna want to use red. Okay, so this is a cherry blush, and that's what I would use. But I'm not gonna do that because my under eyes are actually pretty okay right now. So I'm just gonna use regular light concealer. This is my shade. And notice how I'm pulling it down onto my cheek. It's because I get a little bit of redness down here, but it's never really that noticeable, so that's all I do right there. Then you're gonna take your brush, your foundation brush. I like to use a flat angled brush, Stipples. Check that out. Boom. And see, I barely even need foundation just with the color corrections. How wild is that? Okay, so something that you really wanna keep in mind is when you're doing your foundation piece for your wedding makeup, is cameras, okay? Flashback is a real thing, so you want to make sure that you're limiting the amount of dewiness that you have. You want to be pretty matte. So my foundation is actually dewy because I have dry skin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it with a powder afterwards to mattify it. So how I put my foundation on is I picked up just a little bit with the end of my brush while I was mixing in the remaining concealer that was still on the cap. That's a real thing. What I like to do is I take my brush and I ever so lightly, I get just a little tiny bit of product and I come all the way down here. I don't actually want to go on the under eye area, and the reason for it is because if you are a person with dark under eye circles, you don't really want to bring, or any kind of creasing that can happen, you don't want to bring your foundation all the way up there. My concealer is, like I said, it dries flat matte, so it's not going to have that same creasing that another concealer would have. So you want to make sure that your concealer dries flat matte. Now, as you'll notice, I'm putting this on, but I'm not blending it out. And the reason is I want to make sure that I have enough foundation first, but also I'm using stippling motions here. Okay. So now that that's all over my face, I'm gonna go ahead and start blending it out using that same stippling motion. What stippling actually does is it deposits the pigment on your face, blends it nicely without moving it around too much. Now, if you are a buffer, I'm gonna tell you that's why you're using, if you find that you're using more product, that's why. Is because when you're doing that, you're just pushing and pulling product around. You're not actually setting it on your face. Did you know that? But by using the stippling motion, you're gonna set it in place and it's gonna be a flawless finish. You're gonna find that you're having better coverage using less product, which means no caking. Hello. Okay, so now that all my foundation is blended in all nice, there's no lines, there's no nothing, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna mix in just a little tiny bit of white concealer in with the rest of my foundations that's left over on my thingy, my little blendy palette thing. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna do some brightening, okay? So what brightening is going to do is it's going to just make your face look a little bit more awake. Notice that I'm not going at all on my under eyes. I'm just kind of coming right underneath. So when you put a lighter color on your under eye circles, it's gonna bring it out. Darkness hides, light brings out. So if you wake up on your wedding day, you're like, oh my God, I have bags under my eyes. Don't put any light stuff on there. Just put your concealer, call it a day, okay? So next, right here, brighten right here. And this is gonna give you a pouty lip. So now that we've brightened the face, what we're gonna do next is we're gonna do some a little tiny bit of highlighting, a little tiny bit of contour. Okay, so we're gonna start setting. Now that we have the brightening on, we're gonna start setting with powder. So I use Senegence's translucent powder, but you can use whatever flat matte powder that you use. And I'm just gonna brush it on all over. So the thing with the powders is you're gonna want to make sure that you hit any area that might have any oiliness, okay? That's why you see people baking, friends, is because they're trying to target these areas that hold and harbor moisture and any kind of oil. Because the last thing that you wanna do on your wedding day for your pictures is be on the dance floor and looking like a grease fool, all right? We don't want that for you, okay? Okay, so the next thing that we're gonna do is we're actually gonna do just a little bit of bronzing. You don't really wanna do that much contouring for your wedding day because it just doesn't look very natural. A lot of your photos are gonna be more realistic. They're gonna be in motion and things like that. And really, all you should have is a natural sun-kissed glow. You can contour if you want, but take my advice because you're gonna be seeing more of those three-dimensional things, okay? So they're gonna notice if you've got contouring, right? So let's just make it mostly natural. So I'm taking Bronze Dust Powder from Senegence. You can use whatever you use. It will have a warmer tone to it. And all I'm gonna do is take it right here where the sun would be kissing my face. See how easy that was? Super fast, super simple, okay? So then the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add blush. And I don't wanna use anything that has any kind of shimmer. I just want it to be flat, flat, flat. So today, because my look is a little bit warmer, I'm gonna use Terracotta Blush, and this is just gonna add a tiny bit of color to my cheeks. Nothing drastic, nothing dramatic, just a nice, natural looking color. And always when you're applying blush, you wanna start on the outside and work your way in. The reason is, wherever you put your brush first, that, my friends, is where the most pigment's gonna go. So you always wanna make sure that it's closer to your hairline so that if you mess up, it's not that noticeable. Just put a little in all these places. Okie dokie, so the very last thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna highlight all of these important pieces of your face. So the most important places that you want to highlight, and you really just want to keep it at this, is you're going to go right here in the tear duct area, right here directly under the brow, and right here from the pupil area is the closest, but really you should focus on the outside corner of your the colored part of your eye, your irises, and then bring it out. And the reason is, if you put too much of a shimmery highlighter on, you're going to look greasy, and we don't want that. Okay, so now we're gonna take some pearlizer, which is our liquid highlighter. It's my favorite thing to use. Put it right there. Alright, well this look is basically complete. The last thing that I'm going to do to just slap on some lip scents, because it's kiss-proof, budge-proof, smudge-proof, waterproof, everything-proof, because it's important for your wedding day, hello. I'm going to go slap some of that on and I'll be right back. Hey friends, my look is now complete. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you love this, like, follow me, all of the things. You can find all of my social media handles below, and I hope you guys have a great day and enjoy your weddings. Congratulations.